Depressed, overworked, job suck, unappreciated, family problems, money worries. Well, we have a pill for you. Fucking 1,000 milligrams.
Come on in and sit down. You cut the hardcore crew chewing the fat. You cut us shooting the shit. You cut us in the moment.
What? You know what, guys? Well, while we are now in the moment, no, it does not look really good right now. Let's talk about TNA. And
oh Lord, here we go.
Yeah, we got to start on that fucking mess.
Before we start, do you know how we talk about I'll say Irish because I might offend some Americans. So I've got a little joke that's topical about what we've been talking about before we were on air. And an Irishman goes to heaven, and when he gets to the pearly gate, he knocks on the pearly gate, and one of the little angels comes to the gate and says, "Can I help you?" He says, "Yeah, I'm Paddy Murphy. I've just died. I want to come in." Angel looks through his list. He says, "You're not on my list." He says, "Well, I should be." He says, "Well, I'm going to have a word with the big man with the white beard. I won't be long." He goes away, goes and speaks to Jesus. He looks on his little book. He says, "No, he's definitely not on the list." The angel goes back, flies to the pearly gates, looks around, thinks, strange, goes back to Jesus, says to Jesus, "That Irish bloke's not there." Jesus says, "Oh, don't worry about it." He says, "No, neither are the fucking pearly gates."
Wow.
Hey, it's more. I feel like this is more entertaining than TNA. And before we even go off on it, I gotta just say this: why in the hell? And the fans haven't heard me for a while. Why in the hell would you take a company from Spike Network that has over 98 million viewers, put them on Destination America, which only has 53 million viewers, that cannot be accessed in Canada nor in the UK, and it's a premium channel? You'll have to get a whole package to view if on DirecTV. So did they just shrink more their company viewers?
Maybe Dixie Carter's having a 50% off sale.
Yeah, that's just bad. Unfucking believable. I'm trying to figure out any upsides to this and what this could possibly mean for TNA in the future. I mean, we were on Billy's show, WGS TV, earlier, and Billy was trying to make some kind of upside, and I just honestly don't see this working out at all.
You know what, Rick? Yes, it can work out, and it works out for the cable company, for DirecTV, because
obviously for them, yes.
Because if you have fans of TNA, they have to order. First, they got to get DirecTV, so that's a big plus for DirecTV. Then they got to go upgrade to a premium package in order to get Destination America, in order for you to see TNA. So it's a win-win situation for DirecTV. You know, I think they just handed Dixie Carter a paper. I don't know if any of you were old enough to remember the old MASH TV series.
Yeah.
When they had Colonel Blake. When they had Colonel Blake and Radar would give him a paper, sign this, sir, and he'll just sign it, and the hell with it. He could be signing his life away. That's pretty much what Dixie Carter's doing. They give her, "Here, sir, can you sign this?" Or, "Here, ma'am, can you sign this?" Okay, yeah. Okay, now I need to work on my face, my makeup, my Botox, whatever. And she just signed the company away. Rick, you and me talked about this earlier. What kind of people does she have working for her that don't know what they're doing?
Again, I don't know. The fact is, she's been making mistake after mistake after mistake. I mean, from the whole Hulk Hogan debacle, from losing good staff like AJ Styles, it's just ridiculous. It just hasn't stopped, and I don't think she knows what else to do. I think she's running around just dumbfounded. Andy, what are your thoughts? What do you think this means for TNA, honestly?
I really think it's the end of a slippery slope for them, but just goes to prove just how dumbass Dixie Carter really is. We can all remember the cold water challenge for the... yeah, that was the one. We all remember that. Dixie Carter's the only person I know that was on Facebook that actually did the bucket of water challenge with cold fucking milk.
Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck that was supposed to be.
Okay.
That's how mixed up she is.
There. I can clarify that. Kurt Angle did it, kind of modified it a little bit. He used ice melt because, well, him and Melt, we all know from his WWE past. And he challenged their staff to do that.
And I don't know how true it was. There's some pervert in the United Kingdom that actually milked a cow on his face.
Oh, my God.
Andy, was that you?
I'm saying nothing.
Moving right along.
I don't know where her head is at the moment. Well, I don't know where it's been for the last 2 years, but it should be between my knees. But there you go.
James, what are your whole thoughts about this?
I give him 6 months from January.
6 months from January, wow. Joe, any other thoughts about TNA? Is there any other possible way they can, turn this around and make a plus out of this?
Well, here's the problem. As long as you have Dixie Carter part of the company, you can't do anything because she's going to veto everything you have. Everything, any positive you can do, she's going to veto it because somebody else is going to tell her, oh, well, this is a better idea. Whoever told her, let's go to Destination America, would it be because they're paying them to have their show on their channel, which is always a good thing. You have a network paying for your product, or they just found it a cheaper place to host their shows. But, in order to fix TNA right now, one, they have to take complete control away from Dixie. She could be the on-air personality, and that's it.
Dixie on air.
Oh, hey, it worked for Vince McMahon. It worked for Eric Bischoff. It worked for Vince Russo. It worked for Jim Cornette. You can find ways to have her on camera. But again, going back to the behind the scenes, you need complete control. You need to woo back some of the talent that she blundered and let go. You need to start advertising your stars out in public. That's, again, we could talk about how bad the WWE is or how good they are or whatever. Every time you tune into something, they are on Make-A-Wish foundations. They are doing something good at a children's hospital. They're doing some benefits. And they're always out there. That's why you'll never see the WWE on a low-budget network. I'm sorry, Destination America, Velocity are low-budget networks. If it's not Spike, if it's not USA or some other big network, then you're wasting your time. I would get back on Spike, try to formulate some sort of attack pattern, go back to Saturday nights of wrestling, bring in the talent back, bring a competent staff of creative. And here's the creative staff I want. I want Kevin Sullivan, I want a Jim Cornette, and I want a Dusty Rhodes. Yes, it sounds very Southern and it sounds WCW-ish, but you got to remember, those three individuals were a big part of the NWA era as well as WCW, and they've done a lot of good. They just got bottled down by a lot of the bad. So you get those people in there, part of your creative staff. You have them work with your talents, build their personalities, get them out there, and that's the only way. And do a bunch of shows in your neck of the woods in the UK, just to have that multiple number of fans in the arena. Once you do that, then you syndicate your shows to the United States. Once you know you're ready, then you can go on and do a couple of house shows to see how well you do. Tape those and then go from there. That is the only way TNA will survive next year. And with this new deal, I agree with Will, they will not last maybe 6 months to the end of their contract.
Yeah, and it's a shame. Right now, Spike, I don't know if they're trying to get out of wrestling or if they have something else coming up. We have a few other wrestling organizations between Lucha Underground, and we also have Jeff Jarrett's Global Force Wrestling kind of lurking in the back. I would like to see one of these guys jump on Spike, but, we don't know exactly what happened between Spike and TNA, whether they just decided to part ways or whether that, like I said, we said on other shows, Spike just wanted out of the wrestling industry. So you don't know. But let's move along, guys. I think we kind of beat down TNA enough for this episode alone anyway. Well, I'm sure we'll be beating them on as the weeks and months go on.
More abuse.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's talk a little bit about some WWE Divas who supposedly returning to the ring, or rumored to return. There's first one is Eve Torres and Maurice. The rumors are that WWE has trademarked the name Eve Torres 2 months ago, and that's from the patent office. The second thing is the fact is that list currently on WWE.com that asked, who's the most dynamic diva? The future episode of WWE Countdown, the lists only have current WWE and NXT, but Eve is the only non-current diva on there. So, the Maurice rumor came about 3 things from Twitter to a following Total Diva makeup artist, her dyeing her hair back to the blonde hair color she'd made when she was a WWE star. This tweet by Ms. Mariz and my relationship hasn't been on the TV yet, and we are ranked as a number WWE power couple to keep voting. Maybe you'll see my Maurice. Andy, do you think that these are just rumors, or do you possibly see these 2 coming back to the WWE?
Unfortunately, I can see them both coming back, but I think the WWE should be looking more at TNA roster, who've got a decent roster of girls that can actually fight and look pretty.
You know what? That is true, but let's be honest. WWE only really cares about the looks. You know, when they do come back over, they just kind of buckle down to, like, just, minor moves.
I mean, from what I can remember, Eve Torres and Maurice got let loose under a bad cloud, so why would they want them back? Both of them supposedly bitched when they left.
Can I say something to that? Eve did not. She actually asked for her release the day of a couple months earlier, before the Raw 20th, and she wanted to drop the title to Caitlyn. So basically, she left on good terms. Maurice, on the other hand, she kind of went on her own. I don't think she went out of bad terms neither. But she's still in WWE-ish good.
And let's not forget, her husband is awesome.
No, he's the moneymaker. Correct you.
Well, to talk real quick about some TNA wrestlers that, Brooke Adams, who's also known as Miss Tessmacher, was in the WWE at one time, and she really didn't do that great. I think she did a lot better over in TNA. James, what do you think about these 2 possibly coming back? Do you see it as a rumor, or do you see it as a possibility, or do you even want them back?
I could see it as a possibility. Now, your question is, do I want them back? The only way I would see it, if the other rumor of the diva who's leaving is true, AJ Lee. Because if AJ leaves, that Divas division really suffers. And even Maurice could kind of help it, but I don't think it helped it to where AJ did it.
Yeah. Now, there is that also. That is another rumor that's going around. Again, that's been a very weak rumor. We've heard that several times this year that AJ Lee is going to be leaving. While we're on that subject, she's scheduled for a TLC pay-per-view event, but she's not scheduled for any following events. That could just mean that she's taking a vacation to go be with a hubby, or, they could just, WWE also likes to stir things up. When they hear rumors going on, they like to keep that pot stirring. Andy, would you agree with that or disagree with that?
Yeah, fully agree, because they do look at the internet and then change their mind when they realise what the internet wants.
Yeah, I agree. Joe, what do you think about the 2 divas, coming back? Do you think that would be a value to anything, or do you think that would help the company, or?
No, you know what? I don't think that'll help the company. What they need to do is, I'm sorry, they got to stop focusing on these little teeny boppers. If they really hit the indies, there's a lot of good women that are wrestling that are really top of the line, hard-working girls. They need to start grabbing some of those. Forget about the Playboy bunnies and all that. Okay, that's great to look at. But let's face it, after a while it starts getting boring, seeing the same girl dance at the same table. You want to have something different. There's so many talented women out there that can grab them. Here's another thing, and I'll pass this to James. Here's a question for James. Wouldn't it be better for the WWE to bring in some of these indie talents, open up, take them to the Performance Center, and bring Lita and Trish to train them? Since there is no more Moolah to be training people, I think a Lita and a Trish Stratus training girls on both being sexy and hardworking in the ring will be a better thing. What do you think of that?
I could see them getting the indies. I just feel like with a Trish and a Lita, I see more maybe of Lita, but Trish, she's still concentrating on her yoga stuff, so that's why I'm ruling out Trish for now. But also the main thing is that I want to add on to something. I feel like if they want to do something better with the Divas division, stop worrying about fucking Total Divas. Total Divas is really what's killing that Divas division right now.
Thank you.
Oh, I agree there.
Well, as Will chimes in, Will, it's over to you now. What do you think about Eve and Maurice possibly returning to WWE, and what do you think about the rumor on AJ?
Let me grab my watch. It says, what the fuck? Move on to better things with these two. As far as AJ, if she leaves, WWE's fucked, plain and simple.
Well, that's short and to the point, and there you go there. With even AJ and I'm gonna try to chime in. I've always liked Eve Torres. She's not really much of a teeny bopper. She's really a little bit more well built. And right before she left, I thought that she was really starting to get her game on. She was really starting to up her, her wrestling skills. Maurice, I can't say I'd miss her, but I would really like to see Eve Torres back, and I'd like to see what she could bring to the table. That's just personally me. Let's move along, guys, to our main topic, which, of course, is the Survivor Series this Sunday. Now, Survivor Series is usually one of the big 4 pay-per-views. I've never really cared for this personal pay-per-view, and this one looks kind of slim. I don't know why. You figure they would really, with all their roster, they would be pushing it up and beefing it up, and it's like 5 matches, possibly 6, if we're lucky. Let's start off with a kickoff show. We have a new and improved Fandango, if that's possible, to return the WWE Survivor Series kickoff show with Rosa Mendez as his valet. Fandango tweeted this for the following. That's right, Survivor Series. Same Fandango style, new Fandango flavor. Now, there's a report that he could possibly be in a match. So, with who? We're not sure.
That's not a rumor. That's a fact. They say he was going to be in action. We just don't know who the hell he's fighting.
Against the freaking bunny.
If he loses to a bunny, well, we can just say his career is definitely gone for then.
Rick, I got a question here. Does it really care? And does anybody really care about Fandango or the lower tier wrestlers?
Not really. Like I said, that's why I was not even going to try to put it on the picks. I don't even have a spot on it, to be honest with you. If somebody else would really want to pick for it, I'll give you guys the option now to chime in, but it's on you.
Well, I believe Peter Griffin said it best. Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Bingo. Sounds good to me. Another thing that's supposed to be for the kickoff show is that Bad News Barrett, it says that he's going to have some bad news. Now, I don't think he's going to be wrestling because apparently he's not going to be wrestling for at least another 3 weeks, so we know that he's not going to be in a match. Or at least that's what what reports say. So whether they change that around on him, time will tell. Let's get on to some of these matches here. Now we're going to have a Divas elimination match, which is a 4-on-4, which is Team Paige versus Team Natalya. Paige has Cameron, Summer Rae, and Natalya, and Layla, and Team Natalya has Alicia Fox, Naomi, and Emma. Now, if I have to really make a pick of these two teams, I'm going to just pick Paige right off the bat, guys. That's just the way I see it going. I think they're going to try to give Paige the push for this win. Andy, who would you pick?
Paige. I think there's nobody else in the lineup that's deserving of the push, to be honest.
Yeah, that's exactly how I saw it. Joe, over to you.
You know what? I kind of lost track of what was going on because I got something interesting here. Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins has decided to leave wrestling. So his promotion, Resistance Pro Wrestling, is now slowly going to be phased out.
Wow.
Interesting.
So I'm going to provide the link for everybody, and I'm sorry. Anytime you speak about divas or anything like that, I just forget, bump off. Really, I don't know. I remember the 1987 Divas 5x5 matches, and that was a lot more entertaining than anything the WWE could do with their women, or divas, or whatever they're going to call them.
Okay. Lance, over to you.
Well, first off, I just got word from our sponsor that this will be the fuck it all match of the night, and also the piss break of the night.
Yeah, most certainly. I have to agree.
I'll go with Paige. Well, the hell not.
Yeah. James, over to you.
Team Paige. Paige is the sole survivor.
All right. And Will, over to you.
Wait, did you say something?
Yeah, pretty much.
Team Italian, I hope they beat everybody and end Total Divas. Move on. Just move on. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, guys, we have to do this again with another Divas match, which is AJ Lee and Nikki Bella with Brie for the WWE Divas title. And I know I'm trying to put you all through this hell, but we've got to do this one. My guess... Go ahead, Joe.
You just said that and sent a nervous twitch down my side.
Yeah. I'll have to prescribe you some fuck it all. Seriously, if I had to do a pick, my guess is that Nikki Bella's going to get the win on this with the help of Brie. Your thoughts, Joe?
I'll have to say it's going to be Nikki Bella. I don't know. It's come to that point where it's just a ho-hum moment. They need to revitalize the entire Divas division. And it's just, you know what? I'm sorry. Anytime that they bring out a Divas match, I haven't seen a good Divas match in a long time. And that says a lot. So, yeah, you know what? Just to throw it out there, just if I wanted to pull a name out of a hat, yeah, it'll probably be Nikki. And that's probably it.
Yep. All right. James, over to you.
This one's a hard one. Do y'all think Brie's gonna turn heel and help Nikki? I don't think so. I'm gonna stick with AJ. Even with the rumors, I'm still sticking with AJ.
Okay. That it does bring up an interesting question about Brie, considering what we saw in Raw. I'm thinking it could possibly happen, but I'm still a little bit twisted on that one.
I mean, yeah, but the fact is that I kind of understand because Brie still has to deal Nikki's bitch work for 2 more days after Survivor Series.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I'm not putting too much stock in that one, unfortunately. Will, over to you.
According to my text message, it says AJ wins, Brie Bella gets smacked by Nikki, and Nikki will get the shiny wizard from AJ. Life moves on. Please, next page.
And Andy, over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with AJ myself. I just don't see the Bellas holding the title, and if they did, it wouldn't be for 5 minutes.
All right. Now let's get on to Lance. Over to you.
Well, I kind of see it going like this: one of 2 ways. Either Brie just jumps in the match and just attacks AJ, getting Nikki disqualified, or something I see more prominent happening. Nikki orders Brie to, hit AJ with something, like when she's going against the rope or something, and the ref sees it and disqualifies. Either way, I see Nikki getting disqualified.
I feel like if they do that, if they do something with Brie, I feel like they're gonna have Nikki trying to get Brie to help her, but she doesn't do it, and she's forced to quit.
All right. That's actually an interesting point. Well, let's get on to the next match, which is Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose. This I actually was expecting to see a really good match, but as much as I would like to see Dean Ambrose to win, I don't see him winning, or at least certainly don't winning clean. I'm going to expect this match to have some kind of a fucked up fallout, and this is going to go on to a TLC. So I'm going to at least pick Bray Wyatt. One way, a hook or a crook match. One way, also. Andy, over to you.
Dean Ambrose is the only one they seem to be pushing at the moment, so I can't see him losing against Bobber Job Bray Wyatt.
All right. Joe, over to you.
You know what? I actually have to say Bray Wyatt so they can extend this feud to give Dean Ambrose a chance to get some revenge on him. So see Bray Wyatt get this and watch Dean end it in the long run. Yep.
All right. And Lance, over to you.
I just kind of see this kind of having a weird-ass finish here. Because, one, this is just a fresh feud, if you will. And I see it ending as a double count-out. These 2 crazy bastards fighting up the ramp for some weird reason. I just don't know why. It's just coming to me.
Yep. And you know what? Like I said, you're absolutely right. I think, this could absolutely go on to like TLC, where there's going to be like a TLC match or a ladder match or a no-holds-barred match. So it absolutely makes sense. So, yeah, I see if it doesn't end in a no count-out or a disqualification or Bray Wyatt getting a heel win, absolutely. All right. And James, over to you.
I think Bray Wyatt. I think, as you say, hook, bite, or crook. I said the Crook part. I think I see interference to help Bray Wyatt win.
All right, and Will, over to you.
All right, counter question to James. Who's going to help interfere?
Remember, it's coming.
But who's coming?
It's a new day that's coming.
Oh, I was gonna say no. I got my pants on, so I'm not.
No, you gotta see them on SmackDown. Oops, spoiler. No, it's I think it's gonna be maybe the Ascension.
Oh.
All right. Well, as far as my pick goes, yeah, I have to jump on the bandwagon, you guys. I know Dean Ambrose is gonna win in the long run, and I like how WWE's been pushing it, so I'll say Bray Wyatt to win this one.
All right, so let's move on to the tag team match, which I'm expecting to be really good. It's going to be very, very chaotic with a lot of great spots. For the Fatal 4-Way, if you ask me who I think is going to win, if the titles, I would like to see Miz and Mizdow take home the gold. Especially the way they've been pushing the Miz and Mizdow storyline, where Miz is very jealous. I'm thinking they're going to win the titles for a while, and then eventually they're going to lose the titles, and we're going to see, Miz and Mizdow have a big feud, because it's going to give them a more heated feud. This is something that's going to be building over months. So I could be wrong, but if I have to go, I'd like to see Miz and Mizdow for the win with the titles. Joe, over to you. Your thoughts?
Let me see here. I have to really think about this one. It makes a lot of sense. You know what? I have to agree with you. The Miz and Mizdow.
Yeah. All right. And Will, over to you.
I like how finally the fans are interacting to how Mizdow is getting his face turned. So the Miz and Mizdow, future champs, sorry, Goldust and Stardust, about your luck.
Yeah. All right. Andy, over to you.
I'll go for Goldust and Stardust for the simple reason I think Miz and his partner are going to be splitting on that night, and they need to split. It's just a pathetic thing. I just think they need to split them up.
Okay.
One of them will lose, and the other one will turn on them for losing. One of the two will get pinned.
All right. And James, over to you.
I had it originally as Stardust and Goldust, but changed my pick to Miz and Mizdow, because I think that's what they're going to push for.
All right, guys. Well, let's come to the main event, which is... Oh, I'm sorry, Lance. And now, Lance, over to you.
Boy, he's a really forgettable guy tonight, isn't he?
Hey, come on, give me a break, all right? I've been, overdosing on fuck it all tonight.
Well, we can tell, Rick.
Unlike last night.
I've said it before and I've said it again since James kind of let the cat out of the bag. I see Golden Stardust dropping the belts to the Ascension, not before.
All right, fair enough. And now let's get to the main event, which is Team Cena versus Team Authority. Now, there's not one, but two stipulations added. The first stipulation, we know that Vince McMahon said that if Team Authority loses, that the Team Authority will no longer be in control.
Spoiler alert.
Yes. However, this past Friday night on SmackDown, which of course we won't even know, that Triple H said that if Team Cena loses, that Ziggler, Big Show, Ryback, and Eric Rowan will be fired. So
I thought they say all five.
Oh, all of them will be fired? Okay, so my mistake. So all members of Team Cena will be fired. So giving that alone, I'm sorry. I honestly see this as I have to give the win to Team Cena hands down, because I don't see all five members being fired. Andy, over to you.
I would go with Team Cena, but I've got an audible feeling that they will fire them for 24 hours and they turn back up on Raw as some kind of fraction and want to take over, because we're all thinking there's no way they're going to get rid of them, and I think if they cause some kind of swerve and do get rid of them, but it'll only be for one night, because Monday Night Raw they'll just turn up and take over.
You know what?
The fans, as much as they hate John Cena, the fans won't want to see the other four guys going down the road, so it's just not going to happen.
And, the thing is one of my original picks was for Team Authority, because I didn't this is before the stipulation. I figured the Team Authority was going to pull an ace out of this badge at the end of the night, and they were going to wind up winning this, this content, the Survivor Series, one way or another.
But having said that, thinking about it, there's no stipulation where there can't be any outside interference. So who's to say that someone's going to come in and interfere and there's no outcome?
Exactly.
Well, you can get disqualified in a Survivor Series match.
Yeah. If you
get disqualified, though, it's
if you get
disqualified,
you get
how can they
eliminated.
sack somebody when they haven't actually lost? That's what I'm saying. I just don't see it happening. I think they're going to fire them because it's what the fans. Because it's at the moment how it stands. We're all saying they're not going to get fired. It's an open shut case. They're going to win. But the WWE like to swerve it, but they can't get rid of 5 people. So if they do try and swerve it, they've still got to backtrack and give them the jobs back. They'll still be there on Monday Night Raw, trust me.
All right. Joe, what's your thoughts on this?
You know, by raising the stakes and adding this stipulation, which is the most stupidest stipulation ever, it's kind of just gave the whole main event away. You know, they just said, well, you know what, if this is such a situation, then, hey, then that means Team Cena is going to win because they're not going to fire all of them. You know, it's simple that way. Now, if they do decide to go to the angle and fire everybody on Team Cena, you know, they could come back and do the whole... Everybody remembers when Dusty Rhodes was fired in the NWA, he came back under a mask as some sort of cowboy. I forgot what gimmick name he used. But it's always something. When Andre the Giant supposedly left, he came back as Giant Machine. You know, I don't think they're really going to go that route. But, you know, I don't really see them making Team Cena lose. I think this is going to be the time that they're going to start pushing new storylines and they're going to finally end the Authority. So, Team Cena all the way, unfortunately.
All right. So, James, over to you. What's your thoughts?
I'm usually known to have, if there's at least 2 Survivor Series style matches, one is going to be a heel team winning and one's going to be a face team winning. And that's like in recent memories. So basically I already picked the heel team for the Divas one. So, I mean, this was my choice no matter what, even if they added the stipulation. Now the question is it true or not? But also the question adds, if the Authority loses, who's in charge of Raw?
Well, that's another good question, is who would be in charge, and I'm sure that we haven't really discussed this, we thought about it to go that far, and there would be a lot of new names of who they would try to bring in. Who do you think would be in charge?
They got to do some weird, some like no name that we never thought of was going to be the new GM. I don't know.
I know.
Who's that?
John Cena's old man, because he's forever. Every time I look at the WWE website, he's on there in some way, shape or form, even being interviewed and giving his favourite matches. John Cena's old man's on TV more than John Cena is at the moment.
Hold on. I just thought of something. Remember when I said that Brie Bella was going to get fired, had to be forced to quit?
Yeah.
Brie Bella's going to come back later on, become the new general manager.
Oh, God. No. But on a serious note, I think as far as when it comes to like who's in charge, I think they were trying to do like the WWE network, and I think that the universe, which means that they're gonna start going back to those polls again. Those polls sucked. Well, you know.
Let's face it, Rick. We all know those polls are fake and set up anyway.
Of course.
It's just to get the fans, or should I say the marks, interactive. You know what I see happening? I see them going to the old legends. Like you'll see The Rock be GM for like a night. You'll see Steve Austin come back to be like in charge for one night. It'll be like those kind of slips and changes until they actually find someone to take over.
And then it'll slide down to having like Angry Cat as a GM for the night.
Or we could get the old general manager who we never found out who it was.
Yeah, the laptop.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was Hornswoggle.
God, but it's just it's that getting that bad where it's like I don't want that again. I mean, at least with the Authority you had a face. I mean, I wouldn't even mind if Mick Foley came back and he played the GM for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's a wild thought. What if they decided to? No, yeah, right.
Oh God.
Here is something that will really blow the roof, guys. It will really knock Stephanie and Triple H off the loop. Bring Shane McMahon back as now he's the head of Raw. or head up the WWE. I know it's far-fetched, and I know it won't
I think it would
happen.
knock the whole fucking wrestling industry off their fucking rocker.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, come on. I mean, we're in the moment. We kind of just jump around. I mean, I think we're pretty much done with this whole Survivor Series. But what would happen if Shane McMahon did come back?
I'd mark out like a little girl.
So wouldn't I. Shane McMahon was awesome. He was not only great as a voice, but he was great in the ring. He did some badass, crazy shit.
Some stuff he stole from RPD, but that's another story.
As a heel interface, he can do it all.
You know, imagine that Monday night where Vince comes out and says, "Well, Stephanie, Triple H, you lost, and you have no power whatsoever. Unfortunately, we need someone to run the WWE."
Yeah, and she's going to say, you know what? A McMahon should be running this company. A McMahon should be behind it. You can't, you're too old. He goes, you know what? You're right. But a McMahon, and you're right. A McMahon should be running the company. And all of a sudden, here comes the money, and here he comes out.
Dancing up and down the stage.
I would love... No, he can't come to do the dancing thing. I wouldn't buy that. He needs to come out walking out. Because he's too old to do the dance.
Yeah, he needs to do the Vince McMahon strut to the ring.
Not even that. I think he needs to come out to his own move. He can't go on somebody else's coattails. He's made his own legacy. He needs to,
Well, put it like this. Shane comes down the ringside and takes over and orders his sister out and Triple H out. Vince gives him a hug, welcomes him back, and says, "Son, you're the chosen one now. Take the company and do it. Make your old man proud." And he'll leave. And can you imagine a guy who technically, even in storyline, ran WCW or bought WCW, now is running the WWE? I can imagine all the stuff that he will undo as a storyline-wise, just to make the night interesting. And I think that will be a big night. That will be something that we haven't had any first.
Yeah.
We haven't had any first since the Attitude Era. So now to have a Shane McMahon come back and run it, that'll be a first.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and that's something I would really absolutely love to see. Will, what do you think about possibly if Shane McMahon, hypothetically, was one of the general managers that came back to run Raw?
Best fucking pick than anybody else. He knows the company, knows how to commentate. Best choice by far. If they don't, they fucking suck, period.
Yeah. Let's talk about some other real guys that could possibly come back and, run the company, hypothetically. What about somebody like Vince Russo? I mean, I'm not saying it's feasible, but what would that kind of look like, Andy?
I'd mark out like a little bitch.
Well, Andy, you like Vince Russo, so go ahead. How would you see that happening?
No, I think, if anything, they should bring Jim Cornette back in. They really should. Yeah. I really do think they should bring Jim Cornette back in. I really do. I don't know what he could do, but I just think they need his genius in there. No matter what people say about the guy, the man's a genius.
Let me just say this, Rick. Since it's storyline, right? If you wanted to bring, I can see Vince McMahon bringing in Jim Cornette, and Stephanie says, "Well, he's too old. I brung someone else," and she brings Vince Russo. Now we've heard many times, and the fans heard how Vince Russo hates Jim Cornette and Jim Cornette hates Vince Russo. Wouldn't it be funny if they split the company in half just to fight one another?
You mean SmackDown and Raw?
Oh, no. I mean, split down the company. Forget, there is no more SmackDown and Raw. Come on, the segregation ended a long time ago. Everybody's now equal now. But let's just say, they just divided the company up and says, well, you take these guys and I'll take these guys and we're going to fight each other. We'll see which ideas work best with the fans. And you'll have the Jim Cornette Southern style of wrestling, and you'll have Vince Russo's
Northern
reality type series garbage that we all have known and love.
That would be interesting. That would definitely be interesting, yeah, because, like you said, he was definitely, Jim Cornette was definitely more of a Mid-South type wrestling, classic wrestling, and, Vince Russo's more known for the Attitude Era, especially, or the Monday Night Wars. So that would definitely be great if you could put those two on TV and say, all right, you know, let's real clash and see which one triumphs and which one. And I think if that works, I think the fans would love to see it. But the question is, would the WWE really let that fly?
It'd be a dream of mine, but I don't know about anybody. It's probably a nightmare for some people.
Yeah. Well, you know what, guys? I think we're going to wrap this up. And right now we want your and we want you, the viewers and subscribers, we want your opinions. What do you think that's going to happen over this week at Survivor Series? And if Raw wants up getting a new owner, who do you think the new owners be? Who do you think the new owners should be? Make sure you put your comments in the comments section below. And make sure you follow us over at Facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And make sure you check us out at all of our locations. Will it be at YouTube, Daily Motion, and now catch a ride over at SoundCloud.com. Just look for the word HWR Show. Andy, where can everyone find you at?
Yeah, you can find me at www.stokehaunted.com.
We have the classic wrestling manager, Joseph Knight. Joe, what do you got going on? Where can everyone find you?
Well, they can find me on Facebook.com at Classic Wrestling Association. We're gearing up. We already got things coming up. I'm going to have some new championship belts I'm going to be displaying soon and a whole bunch of new equipment. But you know what? Let me slide off this a little bit. What if the new owner of the WWE was Stone Cold Steve Austin? Wouldn't it be funny if you don't listen to what he says, he stuns you?
That would be awesome, and I think that's something that a lot of the WWE Universe would actually follow, and that would definitely get some ratings. I absolutely agree with you.
Yep, so that's it. I had to throw that in there.
Yep. We have the incomparable Lance Moss, and you can find him at youtube.com/Lance Moss TV. Lance, what do you got going on over there?
Album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck goal mixing videos, musical equipment reviews, and some rants. If you hadn't got subscribed already, why hadn't you?
Get on over there, folks, and subscribe. And for the first time in a long time, we have both members of the iVlog tag team. First, he's the Bay Area MVP, known as Will, and you can catch him over at SoundCloud.com/HWR Show. And you got his tag team partner, James from the Big Easy. Guys, what do you got going on?
As James dropped the cheeseburger, tomorrow or Friday, I'm gonna have your HWR in the news over there at SoundCloud, so listen in. We got some good ones coming.
I will be on twitch.tv/fatboy504 doing a little PS4 gaming. Right now, I'm gonna be doing the WWE 2K15.
He's lying. He's playing as AJ Lee. He's lying.
Hush you.
So for everybody, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.
And HWR is brought to you today by Fuck It All. Now we boosted up to 1,500 milligrams. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you for listening to this edition of In the Moment. Make sure you follow us at any one of our locations, whether it's YouTube, Daily Motion, and now SoundCloud.com under the name HWR Show. Until the next time, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.